guys, what's up? So in this video I'm going to be doing a tutorial on contouring, and I'm not a pro makeup artist at all. I'm still learning the ins and outs of it all, but I've been playing with different techniques and that kind of thing, and this is kind of the way that I like to do it, so I'm going to share that with you guys, and let's go. I've already started off by concealing just to save time, and we are going to get right into contouring using the Smashbox step-by-step contour stick trio. And basically we're going to start by taking the contour shade underneath of our cheekbones to create a more chiseled look. So you can kind of find them by imagining a line between the top of your ear to the outer corner of your lips, and just draw some lines right underneath of it to mimic the look of a shadow. You don't want to take this any further down than the outer corner of your eye, otherwise you're going to look too thin and almost sick. Basically what we're trying to do is use the dark shades to mimic the look of a shadow or an area of your face that's sunken in, and the light shades to create an area of your face that looks like it's hitting more light or that is more prominent or larger. So you can thin out a nose by contouring down the sides, you can shorten a face by contouring at your hairline, and in a lot of videos done by females, you see them highlighting under the brows. I like to contour there because I think it creates a more sunken in eye shape, which looks really hot on a guy. And then I'm also contouring underneath my jaw, and you can do that really strongly here because there's no fear of like looking like you have a beard if you're a girl. So you can go for a really strong jawline. I don't have much of a use for the bronzer shade. I just used it around the contour areas to help blend it out. And then the highlight shades I used on my cheekbones, in the center of my face near my nose, just on the tip of my nose. Sometimes you see people take it all the way down the nose, and I think that makes the nose look really lengthened. I took it on my forehead and on my chin. I have a weak chin, so it's going to help it look more prominent. If you have a really strong chin already, don't highlight it. And I also took that on top of my jaw, just again to make the jaw look a bit stronger. I also like to include a cream blush when I'm doing cream contouring. I think it helps blend everything out and create a really natural, complete look. So I kind of wedged that in right between the contour and the highlight shade. And then I'm just going to be taking a Real Technique stippling brush and kind of stippling and swirling the product to blend it out. You do not need to be too picky with this because we are placing it underneath of our foundation. So it's going to kind of get blended out and toned down a little bit. So you don't really want to lose too much intensity by blending it out. So just kind of feather it around the area, but don't blend too much. And the reason that I like to use it underneath of a foundation is because I like to use a really lightweight foundation that doesn't have a whole lot of coverage. So what I'm using is the Bare Minerals Original Loose Foundation, and I forgot to close the stopper last time I used it, and now there's product everywhere. So I picked too much up and it kind of splattered everywhere. I had to dab a little bit of the excess off camera because I couldn't get it to blend out. But basically, if you're using a lightweight foundation, it's not going to cover up the contour too much. The contour and highlight is still going to come through, and it's just going to look like your face has a nice bit of dimension, but you're not necessarily going to see like harsh contour lines per se. Now, if you do want to go for a more intense contour, I recommend using powders over the top of that. Obviously, I do not do this every single day. It is way too much, but I'm going in with the Smashbox contour palette and just the brush that comes with it, and I am redefining some of the areas that I contoured. If you do not want to go and buy a really intense, expensive contour palette just to play with makeup, I would recommend just finding a brown taupey shade that has kind of like an ashy, cool undertone. You do not want to use a bronzer to contour because it's going to look like you have orange streaks on your skin, and you're trying to mimic the look of a shadow, which is really gray in nature. So I'm taking that under the cheekbones and blending it upwards, redefining some of the temple and the jawline. And then I'm going to take the highlighter shade on a blush brush and just hit that underneath my eyes in the center of my face. It's not going to do a whole lot of brightening, but it's just going to add a little bit more brightness. So I like to use that to set the concealer under my eyes. And then the bronzer shade, I really like to use powder for bronzer, not the contour stick, because I feel like bronzer is something that should be kind of an all-over product just to give your face a little bit more warmth. So I'm taking that on a powder brush, and I like to mix the contour and bronzing shades in here because I feel the bronzer shade is too orange, and it's a little bit easier to use if you tone it down. And I'm taking that down my neck and around the perimeter of my face, and that's just going to make it look a little bit more seamless. So there's no area where your face looks really dark and your neck does not. So that is the completed look. So that is it for my video on contouring. Leave me comments down below what you would do differently, how you contour, what products you use, all that good stuff. I hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That way I know to do more videos like this. So I was kind of showing how like I have a long face, so I can narrow it by shading up here. If you have too wide of a face, obviously you can contour on the sides and make it a bit more slender. You can make your nose more slender by contouring the sides. You can make it wider by highlighting a wider strip down the middle. There's a lot that you can do with it, and it really depends on your face shape. So I kind of suggest that you find YouTube videos that are related to your exact face shape, because guaranteed they're out there. There's a billion videos on this. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. Take care.